available. It's like, what? Anyway, welcome to RobMotive Monday live at 5. Thought I'd do a little mobile live streaming tonight, do a little walking around, at least for, the beginning. Anyway, welcome to anybody that's on. I don't know. Yeah, I do know. It looks like we have 7 people on and a thumbs up. Thank you very much, whoever did that. Let's do some channel announcements. And first of all, Krista may be joining us. I'm not sure if she's going to be on yet or not. We shall see. Anyway, some channel announcements. I have some discount codes. So for anybody that's not on yet, you're missing out. We've got some discount codes. I don't know why I always look over there, because I'm looking at myself. I'm going to look over here in the camera. So we have some discount codes. First of all, RobMotive 10 for 10% off over at the Tough Skins. Check them out. We should still have the, let's see, what is the other? RobMotive at sparksparts.com. That'll give you 5% off, and I think free shipping at sparksparts.com. If you're not familiar with them, they have all kinds of Toyota parts for the Tacoma, for the Tundra, for the Camry, for all kinds of stuff out there. And then we have Sprint Booster, discount code RobMotive. It'll give you $20 off and free shipping. They also offer a money-back guarantee. Awesome device. I have it on all my vehicles. Gets rid of throttle lag. Makes it feel faster. Unleashes the power, particularly on the Toyota Tacoma. I would not own a 3rd-gen Tacoma without that unit on it. That's how good it is. Now, I do have, is it echoing in here? Probably is. We have a pretty high ceiling. You guys can see up there? It's up there. Unless I'm upside down. But anyway, I do have 2 other channels in addition to this one, which if you didn't know where you were, and I know somebody like Mark up there in the north, he probably has no idea where he is. But anyway, I do have 2 additional channels. RobMotive FST. It's all about full-size trucks. There's a lot of Tundra content on there. And most recently, and I just did, man, an awesome mod today, 2 awesome mods today for the Ram 1500. Some pretty cool stuff. I just saw an echo, echo, echo. That's because Krista's Jeep isn't here, because she's not here yet. I don't know if she's going to be on or not. We'll see. We'll see. Also, RobMotive JT, if you're into Jeep Gladiators, I have a Jeep Gladiator. Gotta say, that is an awesome vehicle. Done all kinds of mods and things to that. There will be more coming for it. Right now, I'm trying to decide what I want to do about the front bumper. I think I'm leaning towards fixing it. And if you didn't know what was wrong with it, well, it's because you're not watching the channel. So if you wouldn't mind, subscribe to those 2 channels too, because you see, it helps me out. I'm a YouTuber. This is what I do full time. So if nobody watches the videos, that means no ads play. And if no ads play, well, that means I don't get to eat. And I'm a hungry guy, I've lost some weight, by the way. I don't know if anybody noticed. Been doing the RobMotive starvation diet. It's pretty simple. It's basically eat a cookie for breakfast. Those little cookies? Love those. And then maybe or maybe not 21 pieces of those little frosted mini wheats for lunch. That's it. And then a conservative dinner. I use an app. It counts calories, tells you what to stay below, blah, blah, blah. So that's what I do. And then I do manage to fit in a couple of bottles of the green nectar during the day. That's Mountain Dew to anybody who doesn't know. So anyway, those are the announcements. That's my weight update for anybody that's concerned. Got about another 10 pounds or so to go. The last 10, this door is driving me nuts. The last 10 are the hardest ones, I think. So we shall see. Got to get those off. Already dropped down to a size 34 on the shorts. I was as high as a 36 for a while. That's a lot for somebody who's 5'9" and a half. So let's go over it. We got to see if anybody's on here. I could just be on here talking to myself. Hopefully not, because there's nothing more sad than a YouTuber who's doing a live stream and simply talking to themselves. You know what I'm saying? So I need to pull it up on the screen in front of me. Let's do a little refresh. I have a laptop down here. And there's the live, and I just went right, I blew right past it. Oh, that's a lovely picture of a Tacoma on there. We have a D-Tronics This is the first time I've seen a local business in my area. D-Tronics is where I do all my window tinting. They're running an income tax sale right now, it appears. That was the first thing they opened with. But that is the advertisement, at least on my end for tonight. You might be different depending on what part of the country you are in. So let's see, we've got a bunch of comments on here. We had one blocked out from Dennis R. I don't know why, Dennis. I just set that one free. For some reason, it didn't like what you wrote, but I got you covered, man. I let it go. And thanks for saying what you did. We'll get to the comment here in just a minute. So let's see who we have. We have the infamous, I'll call him the Northerner, M. Jones. How you doing there, buddy? Victor Garcia says, hey, Rob, how's it going? Victor, it's going pretty good, buddy. How are you this evening? By the way, let's do a quick temperature check. It is 78 degrees where I stand right now. Let's verify that because, you know, I like to be transparent. So we're going to walk over here. We're going to look on the wall. You guys might be able to see it through there. I don't know if you can see it. Let's go over here. Right over there on the wall, right over there. It's 80 degrees in here right now. 80 degrees. I'm rocking the cutoff shirt again because, you know, I love the cutoff shirts. Nothing beats them. I can't stand wearing sleeves anymore. It feels too restrictive. And, you know, I like to move around. I like to be able to react, you know. Let's move on. John Fletcher says, howdy, Rob. John, how you doing, buddy? Victor Garcia, triple thumb up. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Chad Cradot says, howdy, Rob. What's up? Just doing my thing, Chad. Did a couple of awesome mods today on my Ram 15 Hondo. I love it. I love it. Now, we're going to talk about that. For anybody who compares the Ram to the Tundra, I'm going to give you my opinion in a minute. I know this is a Tacoma channel, but it's a Toyota product, right? So I'm gonna let you know here in a minute, unless I forget, which could happen. Thy kingdom come says, echo, 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 echo. I know, it's because Krista's Jeep isn't here to absorb all the sound. You know, I have extremely high ceilings. That's how I'm able to fit this lift in here and put a vehicle up above, right? So unfortunately, when there's not enough stuff in here to take up room, it makes it for an echo, you know? Let's see. John Fletcher, is Krista going to grace our presence tonight? Not sure. She may not. You'll hear because the garage door will activate and her super loud Jeep will pull in here. And pay attention if she does. When she turns that thing off, it sounds like a jet engine turning off. It's really weird. It's the air conditioner, the compressor. That's what it does. I don't know. Dennis R. There we go, Dennis. Don't forget to subscribe and like all 3 channels and thumbs up. Dennis is a wise fella. You know, I got to say that I really am impressed, Dennis, and thank you for bringing that up. I appreciate it. Alcides Tejada. Alcid Tejada. That's what I'm going with. I apologize if I'm wrong. Gave the thumbs up. Thank you very much. Mumphy says, howdy, Rob. Mumphy, how you doing? You still sleeping out there in that Tacoma? I'm just curious. John Bailey says, hello, Rob and Krista. Maybe, maybe not. We don't know. John Fletcher says, and a half. Hey, you got to include that. Again, full disclosure. I wouldn't want you to think I'm a shorter guy than maybe you think I am. Actually, I'm average. 5'9" is average for someone my age, and I believe it's average in this country anyway. So I'm of average height, which simply means there are 50% of the people, let's go 49, taller than me, and 49 shorter than me. What happened to that other 2%? They're sitting down, I guess. I don't know. Let's see here. Wolfpack Studios says, howdy, Rob. Wolfpack. How you doing? Ryanu Azada. Ryanu, how you doing? Ryanu is awesome. He comments on every one of my videos on every channel every day. And I appreciate that, Ryanu. You are awesome. That's exactly what I'm looking for, buddy. Ryanu says, aloha and good afternoon from Honolulu. Normally, I'd be jealous, but right now, it's very warm outside. The palm trees are blowing, and I feel like I'm in Hawaii, you know? It's great, thumbs up and all kinds of cool stuff to catch you on your live stream for this 3-day weekend. That's right, today is President's Day, so give a big salute to a president. It could be any president. It's presidents, see, it's plural day. Understand? Kevin Coco says, howdy too, howdy too. Michael Hart, I don't know why I live in northern Illinois. I don't know why anybody lives north of where it's warm. I'm surprised there's population in the north. I really don't understand why. Why? It makes no sense to me. And every Canadian I talk to says they want to live south. I mean, like everyone. Trucker Josh, Mark, that's pretty much half of the population in Canada. So I'm just saying, you know. Doug Jolly says, hey, Rob, I thought you had a Tundra. When did you get the Dodge? I don't have a Dodge. I have a Ram. For a few years now, a Ram has been its own little thing. It's no longer a Dodge Ram. Let's just get that straight right away. And it's been about 4 or 5 months now, man. You gotta watch the channels, you know? You gotta stay in the know, or you don't know, you know? Kevin Coco says, how's it going, Roberto? It's going good, Kevin. I'm sitting here, I'm doing my thing, hanging out. I am a bachelor this evening, apparently. So it's time to rip the ring off. Oh, there you go. And it's not one of those rings that has the sticker things in it, so you can't take it. Have you seen that? People are actually buying wedding rings now that have the prongs facing the end of your finger so you can't take it off or it will hurt you. Who is insecure enough about their spouse to get a ring like that? I mean, you really have to worry. If you have to worry about that, you have to go to the extreme to have, you know, little barbs put on the end of your wedding ring. You probably shouldn't be getting married to that person. I'm just saying. That doesn't make any sense to me. And you know, I've seen some of these, right? They push into your finger anyway. You know, a ring moves around. It doesn't just sit there. That's got to be painful just to wear those stupid things every day. Why would you do that? All right, I'm putting it back on. Get ready. Now I'm 5'6". You see how it works? You take the ring off, and it's like expanding. It's like, I'm kidding. I'm putting it back on. Here we go. All right, so let's carry on. Mumphy says, maybe not in the Tacoma. That's right, what I'm talking about. Mumphy's got himself a camping set up, I guess. He's going to do a little more camping this year, he said. Got himself some camping equipment. He's got a channel. It's Mumphy. It's right there. Check it out. He does camping stuff. Well, on this video. It's not all he does, but, you know. Elizardo Rodriguez. I'm thinking about going after Michael Buffer's job, you know? As long as every time I can say, Rodriguez, you know, I can do that one. You know, some of the other names is more difficult for me to do, you know, like Smith. I mean, how do you, Smith? I mean, I guess you could do that. I don't know. Let's see. Elizardo, hello. Good to have you here. Glad you joined. He gave a cool look with the shades and a thumbs up. That's like a double whammy right there, man. John Fletcher says, kind of like a dog shot collar. I know, right? I mean, who does that? Oh, by the way, honey, just to make sure that you don't run out and cheat on me, I'm going to slap this ring with little thorns or barbs are in it so you can't take it off. That's how much I trust you. What a great relationship. I mean, come on, man. It's crazy to me. Bob Katz, hi, Rob. Are front seat jackers worth it? Not on the 2020 and beyond, because you see it has a 10-way power adjustable seat. It's interesting you bring that up. Somebody asked me recently on the channel about that, what I thought about them and whether they should get them, and they have like a 2021, I think. And I'm thinking, wait a minute. You have a power adjustable seat 10 different ways, man. If you can't get comfortable in the Tacoma with that electric seat, then seat jackers aren't going to do anything for you. So my response is only if you have the older style that did not have the power seats. And the only reason for me, because I did my own version of that, I used washers. I mean, why spend all the money you had to spend on that when I just used a bolt and a washer to raise the rear of the seat up. And I raised the rear of the seat up because it sits like this. And I always felt like I was driving like this, and it wasn't comfortable. So I moved the back up about, I think it was about 1.5 inches or something like that. There are 2 or 3 videos on the channel about it if you're interested. I did it 2 different ways. But I raised it up about 1.5 inches, I think. So instead of riding like this, I was riding like this. And it makes a big difference. And somebody commented too about having thigh pain, you know, under your legs where it hits that front seat, and whether that would help or not. And I think it would, because when you're leaning back, I think you're kind of putting more pressure on the back of your legs. Whereas when you lean up a little more, it kind of levels or evens it out. So that's my long answer to your question. It depends. Let's see. Elizardo Rodriguez said, I don't know where that was going, but it ended with I don't know. So let's talk about a potential Tacoma mod. Or is it a Tacoma mod? Yeah, no, I don't know. I can't decide. Right now, when you look at the side of the Tacoma, you see it's all nice and uniform all down the truck, right? Now, I never used to like these. On my Voodoo Blue Tacoma, the 2020 that I had, it had black fender flares on it, if you will. Right now, they are body colored. And I used to be a big fan of that. I never thought they looked good when they were black on color, you know. But after having that Voodoo Blue Tacoma, I kind of dig it, man. And maybe it's just because I got used to it, but I kind of think it would look good having black fender flares on here, you know? And it would break up the color a little bit, because right now it's all magnetic gray, right? Which I kind of like. And I'm glad it's black up here. I know a lot of people will take this center piece off. It's just, what, a sticker. But I think that wouldn't look good. I think having that black piece there is good for the truck, because it breaks up everything else. I mean, unless you're looking for just a monotone, you know, all black color, you know, really the only color I have is what the black accents are, which is cool. I like that. Of course, the RobMotive badge right there, that's for channel purposes. It's just a magnet. And then the bronze wheels right there. You know, it's hard to know where to point. Those weather people, they must practice this, because when they're pointing at a cloud and they end up pointing at the ocean, it doesn't work. But it's kind of difficult to know. It's like everything is not the way, you should do it backwards. So if I think I'm pointing up here, I should point that way, I guess. But anyway, the bronze wheels I really like. And I'm thinking about going bronze on my black Ram 1500. I'm not sure yet, but I do kind of dig that. So I may go red on that truck, black with red. I've been going red with everything else. So it might not look good if I went bronze, I guess, with red accenting everywhere else. Yeah, we'll have to see. Let's see. I had to release another comment. Dennis, YouTube just doesn't like you for some reason. I don't know what it is, man. Dennis said your Tacoma looks black tonight. Well, it's darker in here. I mean, if you look, I see what you mean. If you look at it underneath the lift, which has covers over it, you know, to keep stuff from dripping down from vehicles up above, it does look black, but I assure you it is magnetic gray metallic. Just not good lighting in here, you know. Elizardo Rodriguez says, wait a minute, I think I missed a comment somewhere. No, I didn't. I did not. Elizardo says, I have a question about TPMS. My Tacoma is not reading the aftermarket one. Any thoughts or advice? Appreciated. Yeah, take it back to the shop and have them put the right ones in, or have them initiate the aftermarkets that they used. They either didn't use the right ones. I've had this experience myself. They either didn't use the right ones, or they didn't initiate them, which they have to do with a little device. So it's one or the other. And if they can't initiate them, then they need to pull the tires off, unfortunately, deflate them, pop the seal, and put the right ones in, because you paid for those, right? Brian's Custom Canvas. Hi, Rob. Remember the pic of my nephew's Tundra orange 8-inch lift on 37s? Well, we have our work cut out for us. We have some repairs. Up here in New England, we had a little ice and snow. It ate a tree. That's not good. It's lots of fiber, but not good for the truck. Sorry to hear that, man. Elizardo, he's cry laughing, man. He's going nuts over there. Says, I have fat fingers. Well, you know, let's just call them muscular. How about that? Muscular fingers. Nicholas Miller, I love my black fender flares on the 2019 SR. I've grown to like them. Like I said, when I first saw them on the trucks, I wasn't really a fan, but I am now. I really do like them. Dennis R. says, the color of my Wrangler is similar to the Tacoma. It has black fender flares and it looks good. Yeah, it would. I think black fender flares on this color, really on any color. I'm not sure they would look bad on any color, actually. And like I said, I wasn't a fan initially, so I believe it. Automan Dan, hey Dan, what's up, buddy? Well, hello, my friends. How's it hanging? Well, it's hanging okay, I guess. I mean, it seems to be hanging fine up here. It hasn't fallen yet, so I'm pretty happy about that. I don't know if anybody noticed. I'm sure that's what Dan's referring to. Sure. Let's see, where was I? John Fletcher. I had the black flares on my 03. They were okay. Now I have the blazing blue pearl, and they came in the same color as the truck. Yeah, so they're color matched. Depends on the trim level you get. The off-road has the black, the sport has the color matched, and then the lower trim levels, it kind of varies. Mine is a lower trim level, but the SR5, but it has the color matched, which is cool. I mean, I don't dislike those. Brian's Custom says, very good advice on the bed liner with no grinding. Yeah, I had somebody respond, and they said grinding's not necessary. And I'm like, okay, so what do you think makes that spray liner adhere to the bed? I mean, the bed is smooth. That plastic is smooth in a lot of places. And if they don't rough it up a little bit, that liner doesn't have anything to grab onto. And how long do you think it's going to be on that truck before it flakes off? I'm just saying. Automan Dan says, has everyone thumbed up? What do we have? Where are we at now? We have 43 people and 26 people like it. I would say that is not the case. Not the case. El Splendor says, any plans for a front bumper? Yeah, I've been thinking about that. What I'm looking at right down there, you know, this part right here. I've been thinking about getting one of those, I forget what they call them, center type bumpers, whatever, they have a little hoop on them, but it's low enough to stay out of the line of sight for the TSS system. I like that bumper in lieu of anything else, you know, and I almost did it. I contacted the company a while back, and they never responded to me. So I'm like, well, okay, guess business is good for them. But now I'm thinking one of those. I kind of like those. I'm still not a big fan of ripping out some of the stuff you have to rip out to do it, but I really do dig those, so we shall see. Philip A. Huggins says, howdy! How y'all doing? Philip, we're doing good. Well, I'm doing good. I hope you're doing good. Soccer TL. What do you think of ceramic coating? Is it worth it? No, not in my opinion. I would just use the old-fashioned wax. Spray wax, paste wax, any wax. I'm not a big fan of that coating. I never have been. I think it's absorbently expensive, and I'm not really sure it does anything for you. It probably does, but it's not something. It's like undercoating for me. I never have gone with undercoating. I never will. Even if I lived up north, which of course I did for a long, long time, I never did any kind of undercoating. I think it's a waste. But if you like it and it makes you feel better, then it's worth it. Let's see. Chase Pest for You says, howdy, Rob. Chase Pest, how you doing? Ron Black, I hope you do the flares. I have the same color as you, and I've thought about adding them to my SR5. We'll see. It's in the preliminary rattle it around in my head stage, you know. Chase Pest for You, triple thumbed up. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Automatic Ann says, hey, Rob, I noticed someone is missing. Where's Krista? She's here. Do you have your phone expanded fully so you can see her standing right over there? Let's see. Philip A. Huggins gave the thumbs up. Thank you, Philip. I appreciate that. El Splendor, what's for dinner? I'd be curious to know. Pizza. I'm going with one of those little dinky, tiny paper-like pizzas. It's about this big, but those suckers have like 450, 60, 90 calories, something like that, for a little dinky pizza with pepperoni. That's it. Pepperoni. 400 and some calories. It's absurd. Let's see. John Fletcher, triple thumbed up. Thank you, John. We have 32 thumbs ups and 46 bodies on here now. John Fletcher, I read that. Automan Dan says, hey, Rob, I'm loving the blackout look on the Ram. It's going to change a little bit. I added some color today. Something I've been thinking about doing, and I did it. So make sure you subscribe to that channel. Again, it's RobMotive FST for anybody who doesn't know. We had a blip there. My screen on my laptop did the circle of death for a moment, but we're back. It looks like we're back. Let's see. James Carpenter in the house. James Carpenter says, I just bought a 21 Tacoma Sport and had 17-inch and had a 17 Tacoma Off-Road Inferno. I like the 21 much more than the 17, and I like the white. I got the moonroof, very hard to find. I need to get window tinting. Yeah, on a white truck, that'll look awesome. Not much difference between the two. Well, you went from the Sport to the off-road. Should be a smoother ride, actually. Of course, you have the power seats now and whatever other options you may have gotten, but tent's a must, for sure. Automan Dan says, hey, Phil. What's up, buddy? Ryan Ilazada says, aloha, Rob. Do you think it's wise to add spray and bed liner to the Gladiator? Depends on what you're doing with the truck. I just have a big old thick horse mat in mine, which is fine. But the difference between that and the Tacoma, one, the Gladiator's metal, and two, it's just painted. It's not protected. So yeah, I would say so. I'm thinking about it. I asked this question as I saw your recent Tacoma video in reference to the topic. Yeah, I would do it. I mean, if you have somebody close and the price is reasonable, why not? Dogs 1, cats 2, earwax. You might want to see your doctor. I'm just saying. I can't help you. Automan Dan says, I'm thinking of expelling my next vehicle. That's up to you. I mean, again, I'm not a big fan of that, but hey, if you've got the money to burn, you know, why not? And you're going to keep the vehicle for a while, obviously. Let's see. Tough. Toph? I'm going with Toph. Just got a Diamondback bed cover for the Tacoma. It's a must-have. Depends on what you're doing with it. I think just a regular old cheapo vinyl bed cover is just as good, but not for walking on and not for security purposes, so depends. Brian's Custom Canvas. So what are your thoughts on Diamondback bed covers? Any experience? Well, there you go. I wouldn't spend the money on one. I would probably just get the cheapo aluminum, hard covers, if you will. But hey, again, that's a personal preference. They do add security. You can walk around on them. So it depends on what you're doing with it. There's nothing wrong with them. Dogs 1, cats 2 gave a thumbs up and a peace sign. Awesome. M. Jones, Krista missing during a live stream. Clearly something catastrophic happened, like running out of coffee. It could be. She could be on her way up to Canada. You never know. Soccer TL. Ooh, color to the Ram. Awesome. There is some color coming. It's not your typical. Well, it could be, but it's a variant. It's a variant. YK. Hi, Rob. Any suggestions on preventing windshield chipping? I saw this product called ShatterX. You just wipe it on the windshield, and it claims it puts a hard layer on the glass, or hard layer of glass protection. Any thoughts? Don't waste your money. That's absurd. Stay back. I know it's hard to do. I know it's almost impossible to do during rush hour, but the only way, there's 2 ways you can prevent window chipping. Stay away, stay back from other vehicles, and 2, leave your truck in your garage. That's it. If you live in an area that has a lot of loose asphalt, gravel, whatever, it's going to happen. Carry that coverage on your insurance. It'll be well worth it if it happens to you frequently. But don't waste your money on that's a gimmick. There's nothing it's going to do. Philip A. Huggins says, hi, Dan. What's up, buddy? Z Diver, I'm looking at the Body Armor Highline front bumper with a worn winch. Well, that's lovely. Are you going to get it? Automan Dan says, oh, really, Rob? You piqued my interest. And Rob, I sub to all your channels. Got to remember, I'm one of the OGs. I've been subbed since you had the Ram Rebel. I know you are, Dan. And I really appreciate that. I really do, bud. And especially subscribing to all the channels. That's awesome. Now, if I could just get you to watch all the videos, you and I would be like this. Well, maybe like this. or like this. You know what I'm saying? But no, I do. I appreciate that. Toph, thumbed up. Thank you much. Appreciate that. Let's see. I may have skipped something. I'm not exactly sure. Stephen Klubba. Klubba? I'm going with Klubba. I don't know if that's right. I apologize if it's not. It's my best attempt. Let's see. What setting you like most on the Sprint Booster? I run, what am I running? Somebody asked me this and I always forget. I'm running Sport 9. Sport 9 on the Tacoma. That's what I'm running. Green 9. Sport 9. I just checked it like yesterday. That's my favorite. That's what I run. Let's see. I've lost a spot. YK. LOL, you are a dumb man, Rob. And he's laughing. That's good because you see, this is an entertainment channel. And every once in a while, I'll get some, I'll call them English beaters, book beaters, that'll get on here and try to correct my grammar or the words that I use. You know, because I make up a word. I made up one recently. I can't remember what it is myself, but I'll use it again. And they corrected me, telling me that's not a word. And you see, for me, this is an entertainment channel. It's not an English class. And it's also just like conversational speech. You know, I use words and lack of punctuation when I am speaking with someone. But I figure they're at least intelligent enough to understand what I'm saying, to get meaning out of my words, whether they're right or not. It's funny. It's funny. Philippe Huggins says, I came across Rob's channel by looking up DIY video for sportage. Hey, I don't care how you get here. I'm just glad you stayed. Philip's been around for a while too, and I appreciate that. Matter of fact, everybody who's been a part of the channel for a long period of time, watches the videos, interacts with me. You guys are awesome. I really do appreciate that. That's what this is all about, man. Otherwise, it's just a guy on the web talking to himself, you know? Just saying. Let's see. Automan Dan says, not much, Phil. Just getting everything ready for my new traveling CNA job. I'm hoping to start in April. And I'm also shopping for an apartment in Kansas and trading my car in for a hybrid SUV. You sound like a busy fella. Automan Dan says, well, Rob, make your videos more interesting and I'll watch them. I kind of thought the same thing about your comment. Dennis R. What does Krista run on the Sprint Booster in her Wrangler? She's running race 5, I believe. I think that's what she's running. Red 5, race 5. And it varies. It depends on what vehicle you're driving. You know, in the Tacoma, Sport 9 is plenty. You go above that, but it depends on what you like. And it gets more sensitive, obviously. So when you tap the gas pedal, you go. But if you like that, or maybe control it differently than, of course, I do, and we all drive differently, you know, but that's what she runs. Let's see. Sean, hey Rob, any plans for maybe a roof rack on the Tacoma? I have a roof rack sitting up on the rack in the garage. It's the OEM version. I'm not sure if I'm going to put it on this truck or not. I don't think I'm going to go with anything like a Prinzu or anything because, number one, I don't need it. I don't really need a roof rack at all, but it kind of makes the truck look neat. So it's an aesthetic thing for me. So we'll see. You never know. Never say never, man. Let's see. Where was I? Roof rack. Brian's custom canvas. That's called a flubbernutter. Yeah, that's right. James Carpenter. Better ride in sport over off-road. I disagree. And better technology in the 2021. I agree. Prior owner had front inverted U, front bumper protector, and capacity to add bright lights. I actually prefer the leather seats. That's all preference, like I said, and we all feel things differently. For me, the off-road has a softer ride, which translates into a more comfortable or better ride, in my opinion. So, you know. Automan Dan, Rob, I watch 90% of your videos. What more do you want from me? I want 100. I want you to go all in, Dan. I want the full Monty. Is that too much to ask? I'm just saying. Philippe Huggins, cool. And congrats on the new job. Hybrid SUVs, are they good? Z-Diver, I think that is the bumper you are talking about. I believe it is, actually. Or the DV8 or the new four-wheel drive parts? I think the one you mentioned originally is the one. Now that you mentioned that, it just clicked. Automated answers, thanks, Philip. And then we have a name that there's no way I can pronounce. Japanese is my first language, and I grew up there. My English isn't that good, but your English is very easy to understand. Well, I appreciate that. That's what I try to do. I mean, I try to just express whatever it is I'm trying to say without it sounding like a science textbook. You know, I speak conversational English, you know, so sometimes I come up with a word that's maybe not right. I don't know. Dave Fisher. Hi, Rob. I slipped out of a company meeting to attend your live at 5. Dave, you are the man. I appreciate that. And anybody who would say that you shouldn't have done that obviously has the priorities wrong, because most meetings that companies have are worthless and a waste of time. So I'm glad you're here. However, if you get fired, I know nothing about it. Sean, I have the same feeling about the Prince2 rack. I love the look, but not sure it would get much use. That's the thing. I would never use it, most likely. And they're not cheap either. I mean, there are less expensive versions if you're just doing it for aesthetics, you know, like the OEM. Automated Dan, hey Rob, do you think a Sprint booster would work on a hybrid SUV? I don't know. You'd have to talk to the Sprint booster people about that. Juan24, hey Juan, haven't heard from you for a while. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Juan says, howdy, Rob. Automated Dan says, I don't know, Rob, 100% video watch. That's going to be a hard. Not Dan. You know, I know what you do for a living. You're sitting around with older folks a lot of the time. I don't know what level they're on, but I'm guessing you could click a video on, they could sit there and stare at it, and they may not even know the difference. So it would be very easy. And my videos are usually 8 or 9 minutes times 3 is 27 minutes. Now, I'm assuming you work an 8-hour day, so that is a very insignificant part of your day. I'm just saying. You can even put it on beside them when they're sleeping. They'll never know, you can hear it, and maybe that will make them sleep longer since you say they're so boring. Make your job easier. I don't know. Dennis R., will the roof rack fit better on this Tacoma than the Voodoo Blue? I remember the antenna was the problem. Yes, I already checked that. When Toyota realized they had a problem, they moved the antenna back. So it's no longer an issue. That's one of the first things I checked because I was curious, being that it happened with the Voodoo Blue. And the answer is yes. Automated Dan says, meetings are only good for one thing, sleeping and more sleeping. Usually it's somebody chewing on somebody or somebody telling you what they want you to do. Or reporting on useless information that they already know in the first place. One thing that I always loved about the meetings is when they give you a handout, right? And then they read from it verbatim. It's like, do you think we can't read, or you think we won't read it? How about you just say we're going to be silent and you guys just read this? Number one, I don't need you to give me a copy if you're going to sit here and read the whole stupid thing to me, right? I mean, I can do that on my own. Let's do something more productive than me sit here and listen to you read to me. I don't like it. It's such a waste. Let's see. M. Jones, otherwise known as the Northerner. M. Jones says, you've got to talk about the Tundra versus the Ram you mentioned earlier. I did. I'll get to that in a second. Dennis R. completely lost it. Dennis R. says, I watched them all. They are informative, always something to learn. Thank you, Dennis. I appreciate that. See, Dan, it can be done. Automated Dan says, maybe, Rob. I'll try it out. Now, that's good. Okay, let's talk about the Ram versus the Tundra. Some people aren't going to like me very much. I like the Ram better. I do. The only thing that I can see as a benefit for the Tundra is its past life reliability record, known as a very reliable truck. Otherwise, the Ram is a little quicker. Now, I'm talking about the 2022 Ram compared to the 2022 Tundra, the new Tundra. John says, not big in the corporate world, huh? Not so much. No, I was a part of that life for a long time, and it's just not my thing. It's not my thing. Automated Dan says, in my opinion, meetings are only there to bore you out of your skull. That's true. The Ram is quicker than the 2022. Of course, it has a V8 versus a V6 twin turbo. It's smooth, very smooth. It takes off. It accelerates faster. It has more technology in it. It's more comfortable. It has more stuff on it at a lower trim level. You know, I didn't buy the highest trim level Ram, But I've got power folding mirrors, I've got electric seats, I've got lumbar, I got all kinds of stuff. Backup camera. It's just better in my opinion. Now, is the new Tundra, well, the new Tundra is already proven not to be reliable. People are already citing problems with it. The wastegate issue, the radio problem. Someone just told me that they're having air conditioning problems. It doesn't work, and that seems to be growing. So you can throw reliability out the door, at least right now. So yeah, I put the Ram ahead. What can I say? Let's see. Brian's Custom Canvas. How has the hidden rear seat storage been serving you? I'm getting a lot of use with mine. Love the idea you came up with, just can't apply to other side due to factory subwoofer. You could do a half of one. I love it. It works great. And for the money, what did it cost me? 20 bucks maybe? And I probably spent more than I had to. I know I did with the felt. I love it. I think it's fantastic. Steven, yay or nay, changed my spark plugs at 60,000 miles. I called the dealership and they said wait till 100,000. Don't fix it if it isn't broken. If you're not experiencing any problems like more lag than normal, bad fuel economy, why would you mess with it? Just because? Don't do it. They put a lot of R&D into telling you that. I wouldn't do it unless you need to. Mark, does the Tacoma have a CD player? Why did they stop having CD players? I'm old school, I know. No, it does not. Why did they stop putting them in? For the same reason that they stopped putting 8-track tapes in, pretty much. Let's see. Nin, Jack, Hiker? I don't know. No more CD player, that's true. No air conditioning. Don't know about the air conditioning. Nin says, what? Bro, gonna die in the summer. It's not that it doesn't have air conditioning, it's that it didn't work. That was the problem in the Tundra. Philip Huggins says, yes, I miss the CD player. I don't. I'd rather stream. You know, I keep the music on my phone, just hit a button, it comes on. I have to screw with all those CDs, throw them somewhere, stick them above the visor. And I don't. I like what they have. Z Diver says, I pulled up next to a new Tundra at a light and it looks smaller than my 2019. I did like the look of it, but would wait for a 2023 Pro. I hear that a lot, and they are smaller supposedly, although to the extreme that some people complain about it, I would say not. I drove one, I sat in one. It didn't feel tiny to me, but dimensionally, the numbers don't lie. It is smaller. Automated Dan says, Rob, speaking of Tundra, I actually got a chance to see one in person. Yikes. No thanks. I'll take the Ram or the F-150. They're better looking and more reliable. Weird. Definitely better looking. What they've done to the Tundra, I don't know what they were thinking. I suspect there will be some sort of a model refresh, maybe as early as next year. That's what I'm thinking. James Carpenter, I was going to wait for the new Tundra, but too expensive, so went back to the Tacoma rather than wait for them to get the kinks out. Probably a smart move. I mean, if you can live with the size of the Tacoma and you don't need a full-size truck, that probably makes more sense. Automan Dan, Rob, we live in a parallel universe where the Ram and F-150 are more reliable than the Tundra. I know, right? I think the Tundra last year, or maybe it was this year, won most reliable, I think. Or the Ram, I should say. I don't know what I said. The Ram is what won, which is shocking. I swallowed wrong. Now I'm all choked up. Philip A. Huggins says, my CDs are full of cobwebs. Yeah, they make good Frisbees. Mirrors, some people use them for like 80s decorations on the walls. That's about all they're good for now, really. T-Bearded Strickland. T-Bearded Strickland. Are the Tacoma bed stiffeners good or a waste of money? Again, it depends on what you're doing. If you're putting downward stress on the side walls, the bed walls, then yeah, it makes sense. But if you're not, why would you do it? I mean, if there's nothing pushing down other than gravity on the sides of the bed, there's no need to do that. Now, if you have a rooftop tent, or maybe you put a lot of heavy stuff in there that pushes out on the bed walls, I could see why that would be of a benefit. But otherwise, it's just a project. You know what I'm saying? And I've done some just projects, like the roof rack. Doesn't mean I'll never do one, but is it necessary for someone like me who doesn't put any down forces or, forces that lateral, what are they, lateral forces? I forget my terminology. I would say no, I wouldn't waste your money. Plus you have to drill through the bed to do that, I believe. Ugh. Nin says, anyone in here ever put a roof rack, Upton, Princeau, any water leakage when putting silicone in or around the pre-drilled holes? There shouldn't be. I mean, I put one on mine. It was the OEM. And as long as you coat those holes real well so that water can't get in there, you shouldn't have any issue. It's the people that don't do it or don't do it right that have the issue. Because when you pull that tape back or put a hole in it that's underneath that weather stripping, you have to do something or water is going to come in. That's installer error. It has nothing to do with the roof rack or anything else. So I'm just saying. Z-Diver says, I see a new one strut is out for the Tacoma. You're talking about a new one strut hood strut? I'm going to have to check that out because I'm thinking of putting the S&B cold air intake into this Tacoma, and that means I would have to take the hood strut off. And I don't think the ones that I have in there now are strong enough to just have one. I haven't tested it, but I'll have to check that out. Automated answers. Well, guys, this will be my last live stream with my old Samsung A50 as it's no longer 5G compatible, so I have to get another phone. Get the iPhone. Join everybody else. Well, at least me. I have an iPhone. That's what I'm actually streaming on right now. And isn't the picture lovely? Z-Diver says R4T has it. Cool. I'll have to check it out. Automan Dan, he's crying. He's upset. Love that phone. Very attached to it. Automated answers, however, I'll be getting a new Samsung S21 FE phone, way better phone. Oh man, Android. Ugh. Mark, just like gold and silver, I prefer to hold the music in my hand. Oops, I lost my phone and no more music. Well, if you lose your phone, I reckon so. I've never lost a phone, so I don't know. Z-Diver says, hood strut. Yes, yes. Nen says, yes, join us iPhone for the win. The iPhone's awesome. It rocks. It's so simple. I've had Samsung before with the Android system, and it's too cumbersome. I didn't like it. YK says, roof rack, a bolting area. I didn't use silicone, but I used RRV sealant. Let's see, it stays malleable and sticky, unlike silicone caulking. That's a better idea for sure, because silicone caulking obviously will dry out. Since it's on the top of your truck in the area where there is a black surface, it's going to heat up and dry out quicker, I would think. So that's a good idea, I think. James, is it okay with the Sprint booster or should I turn it off? Is it okay to tow with the Sprint booster or should I turn it off? It's just a throttle lag eliminator. I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't be able to tow with it, but I am not an engineer. And you should check with Sprint booster. If it were me, I wouldn't do anything with it. I'd leave it alone. I mean, I'd leave it on, but check with those guys. They're the experts. Automated answers, iPhones, no way. Android for life. No. Ryanu says, Automated and you can now watch the live stream from an improved and better phone. You'll be fine. There you go. That's the silver lining, Dan, right there. Brian's Custom Canvas, I'm thinking about getting new rims for my setup. Any experience with fuel wheels? Check out the channel. I've had fuel wheels more than one brand on my Toyota Tacomas. So the answer to your question is yes, I have had experience. Jimmy Pham says, hi. Jimmy. Automated Dan says, Ryanu, very true, brother. Z-Diver says, it is made for underhood compressors and different air filter boxes. Well, that's a good thing because it's definitely needed. Mark says, Android here, LOL. Don't encourage Dan. Now he's going to say a majority of people have Android. It's so much better than Apple. But you know it's not true, right? Anyway, we're caught up on the comments. I've been on here for almost an hour and I'm hungry. I got to go get my little dinky pizza cooking so I can eat some dinner because I'm starving. All I had today, I didn't even have my cereal today. I had 2 cookies, about 4 pretzels, a Mountain Dew and a half, and that's it. Some water, which we have right now. So I'm going to go eat my pizza. Let's see. John Fletcher says, oh man, Dan, I'm right there with you on the Android. Oh no, I started a war. Nen says, I should have titled this live stream as phone battles versus trucks and things. There you go. Automated Ad says, Android down, iPhone up. I agree with you, Dan. Everybody should rock an iPhone. Anyway, appreciate everybody for joining. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to check out my other two channels, RobMotive FST. It's all about full-size trucks. And RobMotive JT. It's all about Jeep Gladiators. Thanks for being on, and we'll see you next time.